Hi everyone, this is the Trade and Tourism Talent team. We're here to just make a briefing for what we've done to eliminate the rising boycott of Thai exports in Australia and also revive Australian tourism from Thailand's official government perspective. And here I'm going to provide a brief introduction to our organization, the crisis context, and the objectives that guide our entire activity. Our team represents the Trade and Tourism Talent, or you can call it TTT. In the simulation, we act as the Thai government side policy coordinator, connecting Thailand's trade and tourism priorities with public communication, stakeholder engagement, and international cooperation. And generally speaking, our mandate has five main areas. First, we are responsible for supporting the trade recovery, especially restoring confidence in Thai exports. And second, we support tourism promotion, particularly rebuilding Australian travelers' confidence in Thailand. And third, we focus on public trust rebuilding because the crisis is not just only an economic issue, but it's also like socially and reputationally challenged from both national and international perspectives. And fourth, we also respond to misinformation, especially misleading narratives on social media platforms that influence consumer and traveler behavior. And finally, we're responsible to guide and support bilateral cooperation between Thailand and Australia, as just in response to the issues. And the key crisis we focus on is the not the bad misinformation crisis, which has created boycott sentiment, reduced confidence in Thai products, and weakened tourism rates and increased misunderstanding between Thai and Australian publics. So therefore, us, TTT, needs to provide credible official coordination rather than just a simple promotional response. So based on our mandates, we basically identify three dominant organizational objectives. The first is to restore public trust through official communication, safety assurance, and misinformation response, either just within the border or between Thailand and Australia. The second is to stabilize Thai-Australian trade through export transparency, product certification, and stronger business confidence. The third is to revive tourism by improving visitor confidence, promoting cultural experience, and rebuilding Thailand's destination image. So in general, these three objectives serve as the foundation of our entire project, including how we plan our work, selected our partners, developed collaborations, and produced our final policy and communication outputs. Thank you, and let's move on to our plannings.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Hao Kun. From a media and communication perspective, my responsibility was to help build TTT's public communication system. In this simulation, the crisis public trust case by misinformation and negative public perception. Strong policy ideas alone are not enough if the public cannot understand or trust them. My task was to translate our team's trade, tourism, and cooperation strategy into public-facing communication materials. My main artifact is the Communication Campaign Toolkit Handbook. It works as a practical guide and focuses on three tools: audience mapping, simple campaign message, and public perception indicators. First, the audience map helps TTT avoid treating the Australia public as one single group. Different audience need different message and channels. Tourists care about safety and travel experience, while consumers care more about product trust and misinformation. This gives our team a clear logic: who we speak to and what they care about. The second, the simple campaign message section provide temper for tourism confidence, product trust, misinformation response, and cooperation message. This example show how TTT can turn policy idea into practical message for different audience and platforms. Third, the public perception indicators framework makes communication measurable through output, outtake, outcome, and impact. TTT needs to know whether audience notice the message and become more willing to re-engage with Thai product and tourism. Okay, next one. And this slide presents our collaboration mapping. It was developed through team discussion and show how TT organize relationship with different partners under the trust recovery strategy. The key point is TT official role. TT provide policy direction, stakeholder conditional, and public communication overseeing. Based on this role, our framework highlights two main parts. The first part is global collaboration with ATTDT and SWB. This helped TTT build official support, improve safety, confidence, and respond to misinformation. The second part is cooperation on the Thai side with ROA and CCEDG. CCEDG support the Explore 2026 and study tour proposal. While ROA support tourism recovery. TTT links these partners together, check that their work match the official recovery goals, and help organize cooperation through agreements and public announcements. Overall, each help make TTT's recovery strategy clearly more credible and more suitable for public-facing communication. Thank you.
Here it goes to show our evidence.
Yeah, this slide gives an overview of our final output. Our team prepares several outputs to support Thai's trust recovery. Although each output have different focus, they all work together. We prepare reports for the Ministry of Commerce and the Tourism Authority of Thailand and ATTDT with SWB. We also prepare the plans for the trade recovery and tourism confidence and external relationship and visa policy, together with supporting materials such as stakeholder analysis and communication resources. Overall, this output helps rebuild the public trust and support the Thai's long-term recovery. Move to next.
Okay, I'm Hua. I'd like to briefly introduce our international outputs. We have prepared 3 main deliverables. The first is a formal report for the MOC. This report focuses on strengthening the export governance by improving export transparency, supporting product certifications and traceabilities, and helping restore Australia confidence in Thai products. The second is a formal report for the TAT. This report focuses on rebuild tourism confidence by providing trusted product information, supporting credible tourism participants, and strengthening Australia's confidence in Thailand as a safe and reliable destination. Finally, we have prepared a stakeholders analysis report. This report identifies the key stakeholders involved in the recovery initiatives, analyzes their roles and interests, and provide engagement, communication, and monitoring strategies to support effective implementations. Together, these outputs provide partial recommendations for both governments, agencies, and support the long-term recovery of trade and tourism between Thailand and Australia. The next one, thank you.
I'm Keong Yu. Now I will explain the main experimentation cooperation outputs our team achieved during the climax activity. Our cooperation focuses on 4 key partners: ATTDT, SWB, ROA, and CCEDT, each supporting a different part of TTT's recovery strategy. First, with ATTDT, we developed a joint press release responding to misinformation around boycott OZ and not the hate. This shows that Australia and Thailand treated the issue not as a conflict, but as a shared misinformation challenge, and it confirmed both sides' commitment to rebuild public confidence in trade, tourism, and cooperation. Second, with SWB, we work under the SWB ATTDT TTT Memorandum of Understanding. This provided a more secure and credible framework. We follow the SWB's guidance on transparency, information integrity, and public trust. We will also join the Safe Travel Partner Certification Framework. Third, with ROA, we recognize its role in tourism promotion, hospitality, cultural wellness, gastronomy, and festivals. Therefore, ROA was included in the Tripartite Partnership and Implementation Agreement, and its inputs were integrated into TTT's public announcement. Finally, with CCEDT, we confirmed its Thai-Australia Import and Export Expo in 2026 and study tour and cultural exchange program. CCEDT was also included as our event and program design partner. Thank you.
And here it goes to show our ultimate outputs.
Okay, my role is to explain how TTT can use bilateral relations to rebuild Australian confidence in Thai trade and tourism. I propose four strangers. First, strengthen the government-to-government engagement. TTT should maintain regular communication with ATTDT through regular meeting and information sharing. This allows both sides to understand the emerging problems and coordinate response before the problems become more serious. Second, participate in bilateral trade and tourism initiatives. TTT should support trade, export, tourism forums, business missions, and cultural exchange programs. These activities create direct competitions between the governments, businesses, and the communities, helping rebuild trust. Third, work with international organizations and recognize the standards. TTT should participate in international such as the SWB certifications framework and continue supporting international trade rules through organizations such as the WTO. International standards increase the credibility of test recovered efforts. Finally, promoting consistent bilateral communications, TTT should work closely with Australian partners to ensure both governments provide accurate and consistent information about tourism safety, product qualities, and sustainability. This helps reduce the impact of misinformation and strengthen the public confidence. Together, these four strangers support stronger bilateral cooperations, rebuild confidence in Thai trade and tourism, and strengthen the long-term partnerships between Australia and Thailand. Thank you.
For the trade recovery, our key output is produce trust framework. The aim is to rebuild Australia customers' confidence in the Thai produce. And they have the three main parts. The first is expose transparency. This means provide clear information about where the produce come from and how they are made and how the quality is checked. Second is produce certification, shows that the Thai produce follows safety, quality, and sustainability. And third is produce traceability. This means user tools such as QR code and supply chains recordings, and the customers can check the produce information by themselves. Together, these three parts are reduce uncertainty, build the customer trust, and support the long-term trade recovery. And next.
Okay, I will talk about tourism recovery outputs. First is tourism confidence plan. This plan explains what Thailand has done to rebuild trust with Australian tourists. It uses clear public messages to show that Thailand is safe, welcoming, and ready for visitors. The second is visa adjustment. Visa adjustment can make traveling to Thailand easier for Australian tourists. A simple visa process can reduce travel concerns and encourage more people to visit Thailand again. And third one, safety guide. The safety guide provides useful information about emergency contacts, tourism hotlines, medical help, and safe travel advice. It helps visitors feel prepared and protected before and during the trip. The final one is traveler support. Traveler support gives Australian tourists clear and help channels when they face problems in Thailand. This can improve the visitor experience and greatly rebuild confidence in Thailand as a tourism destination. And next is for my teammates.
Thank you, Ke-Hong. Hello, everyone. I'm Marie. I'm going to introduce our section on the Tourism Confidence Plan, which focuses on how TTT can restore Australian tourists' confidence in Thailand. First, before travel, TTT can provide an Australian travel confidence guide. This guide would include the key safety information, emergency contacts, and corrections of misinformation. The purpose is to reduce uncertainty before Australian tourists make travel decisions. Second, on arrival, TTT should make safety supports more visible. For example, QR code safety cards can be placed at airports, hotels, and tourism sites. Visitors can also see the SWB digital safety badge and access visitor hotlines if they need help. Third, during the trip, trust should be rebuilt through real travel experiences. Thailand's food festivals, Buddhist culture, and hospitality can help visitors reconnect with Thailand. This can also be supported by ROA travel packages and CCEDG cultural exchange programs. Fourth, after return, TTT should collect and use visitor feedback. This can include short feedback surveys, public improvement updates, and real traveler stories. These tools can show whether tourists felt safe, whether the information was clear, and whether they would recommend Thailand to others. Overall, this plan has three expected outcomes. In the short term, it reduces the impact of misinformation. In the medium term, it restores tourism confidence and travel engagement. In the long term, it builds a sustainable travel trust mechanism. So the main idea is to rebuild confidence step by step rather than rely only on one-time tourism promotion. Next, Yan will introduce the visa policy adjustment section.
Hi, I'm Yang. My party is responsible for visa policy adjustment. It is part of tourism recovery outputs with the main goal of lowering the threshold for Australian tourists to travel to Thailand and restoring their confidence in traveling. Our suggestion is to launch a pilot program for restoring the confidence of Australian tourists lasting 6 to 12 months. Specifically, it can provide a more convenient electronic entry channel to reduce uncertainties during the application and entry process. At the same time, add official safety guidelines, 24-hour tourist hotline, and emergency assistance information to the visa confirmation email or the electronic entry page. Moreover, this visa policy can also be combined with the SWB Safe Travel Partner certification. In this way, Australian tourists can see Thailand's commitment to tourism, safety, information, transparency, and crisis response before their departure. Thank you.
Thank you. And here I go. And this assignment gives us a chance to, simulatively understand who can be affected by such international crisis, where risks may emerge, and how those risks should be managed through official coordination. So we identify 4 stakeholder groups. The first is the institutional stakeholders, including MOC, TAT, ATDDT, and the SWB. And they provide authority, bilateral legitimacy, safety guidance, and also misinformation response support. And the second group we identified is the implementation stakeholders, mainly ROA and CCDG, who helps translate our policy objectives into tourism promotions, event designs, and cultural exchange activities. The third group is the economic stakeholders, including tax exporters, Australian importers, SMEs, and the tourism operators, who are just directly affected by boycott pressures and the declining of public confidence. So the final group is the public and community stakeholder, including Australian consumers, tourists, students, and Thai Australian communities. And the main risks we have identified successfully based on such role confusion, continuing misinformation, safety concerns, especially for tourists and students, and unequal benefits across different stakeholders. So in order to manage these risks, we chose to propose clear role separation, written approval for public communication, SWB aligned safety and transparency mechanism, and feedback channels for affected groups as well. And overall, this assignment ensures that our recovery strategy is not just only promotional, but also accountable, inclusive, and measurable from a real-life perspective. And here goes our summary.
Okay, the evaluation and conclusion. To conclude, our project shows how TTT moved from crisis response to a coordinated trust recovery. The key achievement is not only that we produced several documents, but that we built a structure connecting policy, evidence, communication, and implementation. Throughout the climax activity, we treated misinformation as a governance issue, not simply a publicity problem. This is why our response combined institutional cooperation with ATTDT and SWB, practical collaboration with ROA and CCEDG, stakeholder risk assessment, and public-facing communication. What we learned is that trust cannot be restored through one campaign alone. It requires clear roles, credible evidence, safe implementation, and ongoing evaluation. Our final package therefore meets TTT's objectives by supporting trade confidence, tourism recovery, public trust, and bilateral cooperation. The next step is to monitor whether these measures actually change public confidence and remain effective over time. Let's hope so. Thank you.
And here goes everything we have for today, and thanks for listening. Bye.